Hello everybody. Welcome to another speedrun game against Fanster 101. Rated 1105. Okay, he plays the king's pawn defense. So let's develop a knight and attack the center. He defends. Let's see if we can get our Scotch gambit on the board with d4 and takes. Once he does that, we'll be able to develop our bishop to c4. He doesn't take, he goes for the Philidor structure, which is the most common response at the low rating, but we know what happens. We simply take the pawn. You don't have to, there are other moves, but we've been taking the pawn. He takes with the knight. We recapture. He takes back. We take his queen, and he can no longer castle. Now, because his king moves in that direction, we can develop our bishop with a threat quickly. We've had a couple speedrun games like this. He chooses to give this check, but I think it improves our position with c3, because now we get the turn back and his pawn's hanging, right? So that's a free pawn, and all you need is a pawn to win a game. But he develops a knight. He attacks this pawn, which is not defended. He also has pressure here and a rook coming here, which will add further pressure. So to prophylaxis all of that combined, f3, getting out of ideas with these minor pieces, also taking the sting out of this move because I could just move the bishop. Now I'm up a pawn. If I can consolidate and castle and get my pieces out, I will win the game. This is how you should think in your games. You need a framework so you know exactly what needs to be done, and not what moves, but on a higher zoomed out level. So he plays this, which normally would stop a knight. So I'm not really sure why he's doing it. I think I just want to continue my development. Bring my knight to a square where, it didn't have many choices. Oh, so he moved the pawn to give his king a home. Got it. Makes sense. But now I'm going to improve my knight for free. I have to be careful not to take away too many squares from my bishop. But I'm assuming he's going to go here, and I will attack it a little further. But he doesn't, so I'm definitely going to take that. Okay, this is really good for us. Totally winning. So let's develop for free. And we have the bishop pair. We're up material. He has weaknesses. It's just good for us. And now we get to finally move this bishop with purpose. The purpose is to take the knight and take the pawn. He goes here, but we don't need to castle. That's hardly a thing that's necessary. We are going to take the knight, forcing the king. But before we pick up the... Oh, what? What? How is that your response? Saving the pawn when there's a piece hanging. How are you 1100? What? So I'm definitely going to long castle for free while protecting my pieces, picking up why did he not take? It's crazy. Okay, so he hits my bishop. Let's retreat it and offer a rook trade because trades are wins. He trades, so this guy has no real conception of what he's doing. He's making completely random moves. Now he makes a one-move threat on our rook, so we'll improve it for free. He has to go to the back rank, but he chooses the square. That's a discovery. So we can easily pick up the bishop. We might have even had weird checkmate patterns, but maybe he'll resign. He doesn't resign. Let's just take the piece. He'll put the rook over. We'll bring the rook back. And he's wasting his time, right? Okay, so he moves the rook, so we'll go back with check, forcing this square back into the discovery. Can we set up a mate? This discovery would be mate if this bishop was here. Although he might move his rook and that would create a different square. I'll go for it anyway. It's not like I'm risking anything, you know? Yeah, I don't have a mate, right? Maybe he'll walk into it. It's possible. He's getting there. Go here. Although, he does go there, which kind of forces things, but still not a mate. Yet. A4 because it's pinned, which is a funny move. His king is stuck, can't move. His rook can't move. The pawn can't move. This pawn can't move. He can only move one of these 3 pawns. So he makes a random move. Now if we take, okay, let's just take, just because he might resign. This guy won't resign. Okay, so now let's go here to cut off this escape square. This bishop cuts off this escape square, so now we can give the rook check, and that would be mate. There we go. And, oh, this bum doesn't even let us get it on the board. After getting us to that far, if you're going to play for stalemate, then do it to the end, right? So anyway, we develop and center. And then we center and development. He doesn't take. They should take, but they refuse. So we take. Why? To open up the center forcibly, and then he loses castling rights. By doing this, you're not winning or anything, but you get a little initiative, and it's hard to play from black accurately. They already say his best move is king e7, which is not natural because it blocks the bishop. Of course, his move is not natural because we get the turn back and he's hanging stuff. So we build up for free stuff. And now prophylaxis before development, because taking this pawn with our bishop requires some time, and that means that we need time to consolidate and make up for that lost time of pawn grabbing. So we do a little prophylaxis to make sure we don't get hurt, and then we continue our development towards the center, improving a piece for free. Free stuff, because that's a good trade. Develop it for free. Improving a piece for free, because it threatens the pawn. Free stuff, because, we win the pawn and the bishop. There's nothing else to go over there. Let's just get another game against the 1200 Guerrilla. Opens up with c4, the English. Maybe. Okay, then he goes d4, so who knows what this is. We play e5 to take control over the center, and now that he attacks us, you could just trade pawns and his c-pawn's out of place. You could also play d6, but I'm going to take the pawn. Now his c-pawn looks a little weird because there's no pawn duo, and you might want that square for a bishop. But if he's a c4 player, he might very well feign Keto. So he takes with the queen. This will allow me to develop for free, so I'm just going to throw this in and see where he goes. You have to be careful when you pick a square for your queen, because you don't want me to be able to harass it further. So it can be tricky. You also don't want to take away good squares from that your minor pieces might want. So another reason not to bring the queen out early, it's practical problems. So he gives a random check, but I feel like this only helps me develop my pieces. while he's not building his position. You know, I'm building a little city and he's not. He's just wandering back and forth. And his queen here is, you know, the wrong square because I'll get another tempo with, you know, developing. So already all these tempi can add up to like a pawn. Not yet, but soon. So he develops and tries to add pressure, but it's not even a real threat because the bishop's not hanging. If you do develop your knight, though, he can take and mess up your structure. You still have a lead in development, but it's also not 100% necessary. We could throw in a free move, h6, see what he wants to do. Maintain the pin or develop our pieces. In either way, either case, we've got to create a little lift for the future, little dark square control with this h6 move for free. Even if he keeps the pin, he no longer has access to this diagonal. So we get a little positional something. So he maintains the pin. The drawback of maintaining is h6 supports g5, which you otherwise might not do, but in this case might be quite strong. I'm going to throw in g5 because it forcibly breaks the pin, which means I can then develop my knight for free. I have bishop checks once that pin's broken for free, and I just have so many pieces out. I have such good play. This is hardly should be a problem for me. Okay, so he removes the bishop, and now let's continue our free development. Right? He's not even close to kingside castling. We have both our knights out. He has none. I didn't want to show you guys a game like this. That's just a queen. I wrote, want a take back? Your queen's hanging. What's happening? Should I take it? He's not answering me. Why isn't he answering me? Okay, I'll just take it. I don't have time to waste, so. Okay, he takes back. Now we're up a queen. So I'm just going to castle, because it doesn't matter what you do when you're up a queen. Unless you're playing Leela. she'll beat you. Okay, so this comes with no threat. His best piece is the knight. The bishop behind it. Notice the alignment. Now what piece could take advantage of that? The pawn. Kicking the knight out of the center, has no forward squares, and after he moves it, boom. So we got to move the pawn from f7 to f4 as if it was in one turn, trapping a bishop. The power of free moves. You just build up your position for free, and like magic, stuff's not where it's supposed to be. Your position becomes too good. So we take free material. You could take more pawns, but that helps him develop for free. Although he's planning on fianchettoing, so let's induce more weaknesses, might as well. You could have just moved your rook back, but whatever. I'm going to go here because I really don't like the place of the rook. I think it's much better on f7. But in this case, I get to force it, not force it, but offer the trade. If he avoids it, I mean, I don't mind my rook where it is now. Okay, you could definitely keep this bishop and cover your king and stuff, but I'm going to create a pin and trade everything because we're up 9 points of material, also known as a queen. So I'm just going to take because trades are wins. Comes with check. He's hitting a rook. Okay. I'm going to go here. It may look weird because you block your d-pawn, but that stuff only matters in even games. In stuff like this, stuff like that doesn't matter. You just play b6, you get your bishop out the other way. I'm telling you, nothing matters when you're up a queen. So we just develop our bishop and keep our rook on this file because it's semi-open. It's supposed to be semi-open for him, but because I have it in front of the pawn in this awkward construction, I'm actually taking advantage of his semi-open file, so it's smart. You have to think outside the box and you have to keep adjusting all the little logics of chess. So he moves his knight, which I'm just going to fianchetto and try to just trade everything with knight a5. I'm also going to develop my queen, probably quickly to f6, or maybe e7 because it has the threat. Anything's good. Okay, he develops the knight. Let's develop the queen with the threat. See what he does. So he saves the pawn. I'm going to go knight a5 and offer the trade. He may not even notice, but he probably should. The faster you take their army, the faster the game will end. It's that simple. Whether you're up a queen or you're just up a regular piece, a bishop, a knight, just take his army. As long as you're not taking, like collapsing your own position in a dumb way. So he's doing everything to avoid the trade at all costs, but the game is over. And he's just creating further weaknesses by pushing pawns. This is untenable. I'm even going to sack my material for his material probably, just to get more stuff off the board quicker. I do have this rook that we should probably get in the game, just to add power to our position, increase the power level of our piece activity. Okay, he's making random moves. I'm just going to take the knight. In many of my speedrun games, you see me give up my rooks for minor pieces at the endgame stage when I already have my win condition to speed everything up. So now I'm going to bring my rook to the only open file in the position. Will he take this and give me the check? He does. So let's go for the check and see where he goes. He goes there. So now takes. You don't have a checkmate. Alright, I mean your bishop was defended, so that wasn't a threat, but it's also not doing anything if I can't take on f3, so let's just move it around, and that also frees up our knight to join the attack if we need it. So he goes there. I mean, now I can go here and attack it because the rook undefends it. So you see how just a little remaneuver, a little poke and prod leads to a successful maneuver. He goes back, but this will come with check if he contests our queen. So we take with check, and if he takes with the rook, he hangs the rook. If he takes with the king, we can move our queen with check, and our rook's not hanging behind it. The only safe check, although I'm just going to give up my queen actually. Just take both of his rooks. Now he has no pieces, so this is way better. He still wants to play the game, unfortunately. I don't know what he's holding on to, but it's not there. It certainly is not there. Fastest way to checkmate is with the second queen. So anytime he pushes, I sack the knight. Otherwise, this construction is invincible. And I push my h-pawn for free. Now he realizes he can't attack my knight because it's defended. He's not pushing the pawn because he knows I'm going to take it. You could have my rook. Okay, now we'll just checkmate him. Oh, he's not going to take the pawn. I'll get a queen, I mean. There you go. He found the button. I know you could do it. So this isn't even in English the way he played it. So we just grab center and development. Because he follows up with d4, which is a little weird move order. And you can do whatever you want, but we just take. He brings his queen out. Development and center. Forced development. Improving move for free. Improving our position for free. And we're already minus 0.9. So even after g5, actually what's the best move? Is it g5? It is g5. It's the only move that gives you the minus 1.2 advantage. The next best is d6 at 0.3, minus 0.3. So if you want to do things right as black, you continue with your energetic play. Realize this isn't going to weaken your king. Oh wow, we have a 15 center pawn, 99% game. We handled the opening well, considering it's a no theory, totally random thing where we even include g5 and everything turns out to be correct. We like that. So anyway, we develop for free and we're minus 1.5 and better from here on out. Oh yeah, he hangs the queen. That's right. No wonder why the game was so easy. But still, I mean, there's nothing to go over. He just lost the queen. I'm sorry, but you can message this guy in his inbox, tell him that he's ruining the videos and put up better resistance and stop hanging your pieces. Good luck in your chess and goodbye.